What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. I hope everyone out there is doing well on a Tuesday, getting ready for a great New Year's Eve and, leaving behind 2024, which has, I hope for all of you out there has been an exceptional year, and hopefully you can bring in 2025 as an even more exceptional year, with great things happening going forward in you guys' lives out there. So overall, I hope you guys are doing well today. As always, guys, we appreciate you all listening in to the podcast. You know where to find us, guys. We're on many different platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So if you guys like the show, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It's definitely important for us. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you all moving forward. And we're also on TikTok as well, at the Breakdown Sportscast, where we also bring some of our past episodes and clips for you guys as well. So be sure to follow, like, comment, and subscribe to that channel as well. As always, guys, you know I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, nothing much, man. Nothing much. Just getting ready for these games. It's that time. Tis the season. We got through Christmas. It's New Year's on the horizon, and with New Year's comes the playoffs and New Year's Day bowl games. The Reliquis Bowl. Hey, shout out to you. I'm still be watching. We not just here for the playoff. We here for it all, Kory.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like having a good bowl season, which we've had so far. It's been an exceptional bowl season, Chris, where there's been a lot of great games, a lot of close ones as well. I'm sure you had saw highlights of that Missouri and Iowa game where Missouri stopped Iowa right dead in their tracks on a quarterback sneak to try to hopefully win the game. But Missouri said, "Nah, we're gonna stop that." Drink said, "Not today."
Not today.
Oh my God! So good
Big
win for Missouri.
Big win for Mizzou.
For Mizzou, yeah, absolutely. So hopefully they can take that into next season, Chris, and see what the Tigers can do. I think they got a lot of people leaving, of course, but I think they do have some pieces coming into the program that can definitely, shake some things up.
You know how Drake do. Drakowitz, he's gonna find a way. So I'm sure they're over there retooling as we speak.
Oh yeah. He has the pot of porridge and he's just stirring it up with that big spoon, Chris. He got all the different voodoo sauces and ingredients over there in Mizzou. So he's doing his thing over there. Drink is we always gotta give Coach Drink a shout out on BDS.
Yes, yeah, hey, of course. Look now, Missouri ain't no prototypical winner. Respectfully, you doing something right if you winning at Missouri. So, gotta give love.
Got to, absolutely. So yeah, man, it's been a great bowl season. One other thing, Chris, that I want to get your take, or maybe at least two things. We don't have to harp on it for long, but I want to get this Pop-Tarts Bowl situation out of the way. So Cam Ward, we love Cam Ward on this show. We've talked about him ad nauseum all season long. He had an exceptional year for Miami. Pop-Tarts Bowl against Iowa State. Plays the first half. Decides to sit the second half. Allegedly is because he wanted to break I think the all-time record. Was it just for Miami or was it just for all of FBS?
I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was Miami.
Okay, yeah, yeah. He wanted to break that record. Mario Cristobal apparently allowed him to go out there and do that. Second half, though, nowhere near to be found. No Cam Ward at all. Left a lot of people, being very angry and just confused about, hey, why is this guy, playing just the first half and not the second half? If should he just not have played at all? Should that have happened? What's going on here? I just wanted to kind of get your take real quick on what are your thoughts about this whole scenario, Chris, because I've never seen a player do that before. Usually we've seen them opt out of bowl games. I have no problem. I understand it from a player's perspective about opting out of bowl games, but what are your thoughts specifically about the way Cam Ward opted out of this game midway through?
Yeah, was confused. It caught me off guard initially, of course. Like, whoa, where's Cam?
Yeah,
Um,
I think we were all like that.
but I'm not outraged. I'm not. I don't know if maybe I'm coming around to this new age school of thought, but he went out there. He did get to play with his bros. Got the first half in. Um, didn't leave them hanging in the sense of we had a good season. Still plays. Wasn't like I'm just going to be done with the program. Like he still played a half. Had a really good half. And was on the sidelines with his bros, dressed out, suited out. Leaves the game safe, healthy, and he's the projected first round pick in the NFL draft. It's unfortunate, but I get it. And the last thing, if something did happen to him, we wouldn't want to be talking about. We would hate to be talking about right now if Cam suffered a major injury in the bowl game. It's one thing if that happens in a playoff game, like a Willis McGahee. Remember when Willis McGahee national championship game tore his knee up for Miami? It was unfortunate, but you're not going to sit out a national championship game. Same thing with the playoff game. I mean, he would play then, but he at least did play most of this game, and it stinks. But that team's goals, they wanted to be in a playoff game. So, since they didn't make it there, at least he did play at least some of the bowl game.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of taking it the same way that you're taking it as well, Chris. I totally understand what he's coming from with this. I mean, this is the same approach as opting out of a full bowl game. It's just you're doing it kind of midway through the game. And I understand also from a scenario where someone might say like, hey, if you're willing to, opt out in the second half, why not the whole game? I understand both scenarios and just both ways that the way people are looking at this. I think overall, though, I'm not as annoyed by it. Of course, we're in a new age of college football now. Guys don't want to get hurt before heading to the National Football League. They want to go in fresh, ready to contribute to any team that they get chosen by to contribute to that team and make a lot of money, for themselves and their family.
And lastly, Kory, this is a byproduct of the world that college football fans have created by demanding a playoff.
Mm-hmm.
When you demanded a playoff and we got away from just appreciating bowl games for what they were,
right,
and didn't have to, marginalize the importance of games that aren't playoff games, because that is what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't create this world where things currently stand as they do, then maybe a Cam Ward would play the whole game.
Possible.
You know what I'm saying? Like guys weren't opting out of the Capital One Bowl when the Outback Bowl.
Yeah.
The the Peach Bowl, um,
Liberty Bowl.
even the Liberty Bowl. I mean, a Gator Bowl. Like
Yeah.
this is new,
Mm-hmm.
and this is because we have marginalized the importance of games that aren't a playoff game.
Right.
And without this system, I think you wouldn't see this happening. This is new, and this is happening because of those things. So if you love just college football and then diminish these games, college football fans, and just put the playoffs on the pedestal, you wouldn't have this happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, we're at an era now, Chris, where allegedly we're paying players to stay on teams that are playoff teams. So it's a wild era that we're in, but this is just what we've kind of created now with this whole world of college football, and now we just kind of gotta you know learn to live with it and
Mm-hmm.
understand it if we put ourselves in the shoes of the players. I think at the end of the day, we don't want to see our favorite players go down and potentially hurt or harm their career over one bowl game. At the end of the day. So, and I say that in someone that loves bowl games, understands what bowl games do for teams in terms of revenue and bringing notoriety to the program and the excitement for the following years to come.
Right.
So yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, overall, me and you aren't really as annoyed about it as maybe some people are out there.
I got other things that I can be shaking my fist at the clouds at. I'm not going to do it as somebody protecting themselves and securing the bag.
Exactly. You won't go old man. Get off my lawn with this issue. There's a couple other issues that maybe you have a couple choice words to say.
Exactly. No, exactly. So yeah. I'm gonna pick my battles wisely. So no, I'm not in an uproar.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, man. Yeah, I just had to mention that to you because I thought that was an interesting story.
Yeah, for sure.
That's kind of transpired this week. So, but yeah, man. So we had that, and real quick, Colorado lost to BYU. What are your thoughts?
Loss is keeping it nice, keeping it cute.
It is. They got pummeled. They got Shawn Michaels super kick. Sweet chin music
Yeah. It
by the
was
Cougars.
it wasn't nice. But hey, man, if you're Colorado, if you're Travis Shador, you saw this thing through. You saw you guys. We saw Dion, Coach Prime. Um, it's not the cherry that they would have liked to put on top of this season, but what they did this year was special.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this team has gone from a 1-win team 2 seasons ago, and you win 9 games this year.
It's big.
I mean, no, this is huge for Colorado football. So you got to give love to the season that they've had, and going 9-4. Shout out to Coach Prime. This is a big part of the journey, and Colorado continues to trend upwards. They're going to look back at this season.
Absolutely, they will. I mean, this is as long as Coach Prime is there in Colorado, a season like this is definitely building blocks for the future. A couple years ago, yeah, you only won one game, so now you're trying to potentially build on to this 9-win season that you just had this season, and building on for next year in hopes to try to squeeze into a potential college football playoff berth. And potentially win that. It's the sky's is the limit at this point now for Dion, and he has some good players coming in. So yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting to see what Coach Prime can do going forward with the Buffaloes.
You're losing guys who are 2 top 5 picks in the NFL draft. I know football, you play 11 men on the field at once, but you're hard pressed to find somebody that can survive losing 2 top 5 picks, especially a program in such a young stage in this rebuild. This isn't Alabama we're talking about with Nick Saban having stuff like this happen on the regular, or even the LSU with the losing elite guys during their heyday through Colorado. so
Exactly.
we'll see just how well Coach Prime has been recruiting. The job really starts now. You know, it's very impressive what they've done. But if you come out here in year 3 after losing those guys and you have a winning season, like if you go 7-5, 8-4, in my eyes, oh, you a bad man.
Yeah,
People
exactly.
gonna try,
Like,
but like if they go 7-5, 8-4 next year, they doing something
mm-hmm.
for real.
Yeah, yeah. And I like their future quarterback, Juju Lewis. I think he's going to be
Mm-hmm.
an exceptional player for Colorado and Coach Prime. So yeah, I think yeah, if you win 7 8 games next season, hey, it, chalk that up as a W. You're doing something right down there in Boulder.
Mm-hmm. You definitely are. So, I'm just like you, man. It's a tough loss. You hate to see them get beat down like that. If you're a BYU fan, you love to see it. You've been you were hoping for this matchup to happen so you can go out here and have a statement win, and you definitely got a huge statement victory in front of the nation. But if you're a Colorado fan, you were playing with house money, man. Like this, things to this point is a success, and you're proud of this season.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, man. Sky's the limit. We'll see what happens going forward into the off season and everything with Coach Prime in Colorado. And yeah, we'll definitely be looking at it here on the Breakdown Sportscast, Chris.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good sir, are you all ready to
Let's do it.
crack down these second round bowl games that we're about to um get a whiff of
We got some
this week?
games. We got some games.
Yes, sir. We do. We do. We have one. As the good folks are going to be listening to this show on a Tuesday, Chris, New Year's Eve. We got one on New Year's Eve. Today for you good folks out there. Number 6 Penn State taking on number 3 Boise State, Chris. Right now, the spread is at 11.5 in favor of Penn State. So Vegas is looking at Penn State as a top dog in this game to potentially knock out the Broncos. Chris, what are your thoughts about this game? Because look, we've seen Penn State show up. They slapped around SMU. They've had a
Mm-hmm.
really good defense all season long. I think their defense is their calling card. Do
Mm-hmm.
they have the horses to take down Ashton Gianti and company in this game to advance to the next round?
I think they do. Um, I don't want to be potentially mad at myself for sipping the James Franklin Kool-Aid, but the team's playing some really good football, some really sound football, Kory. They're a very sound team, a very tough defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think if there's anybody built to slow down the Ashton Gentry, um, it's the Penn State team. I think this defense, they're one of the 10 best in the nation at stopping the run. 7th in the nation in that category. 7th best team in the nation at the category. Made life very tough for Ohio State, who has 2 elite running backs in their backfield. Um, and so now I think this is a game where we're going to learn just how good Boise State is. We know how great Ashton is. everybody on that field is going to be keyed in on where he's at all times. And now, Boise, and now it's time for you to show us just how good everybody else is, and use Ashton and his what he brings to the table with everybody focused in on him. You're gonna have to highlight that and use that as a decoy because best believe if Penn State loses this game, it won't be because of him.
Yeah, it definitely won't be. This is gonna have to be a team effort, Chris. That I know that you're, teasing us with that. They're gonna have to, come together as a team to knock out Penn State if they want to advance to the next round. Hey, this is a really good defense that you're about to play, so it's gonna have to be all hands on deck in this game if they want to make it a game against Penn State this weekend, this week. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think a guy like Gianti, who has had an exceptional year, he's definitely going to bring everything that he has to help Boise get through with this game. But yeah, I think it's also going to have to be the rest of his teammates, offense and defense and special teams. They're all going to have to, come together, create a great game plan to stop Penn State. So, last thing you wanna have if your Boise State is Drew Allar, who is a really good quarterback, but I wouldn't put him into probably the same category as some of the other top quarterbacks out there, but he can carve you up if you allow him to after so long in the
Mm-hmm.
game.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to give a guy like Drew Allar many chances to do that because he still is elite enough to do that. So you're gonna have to, really create a great game plan defensively to try to shut him down. Try to maybe shorten this game as well, which I think Boise State knows that they're gonna have to do. Try to shorten the game as much as possible. You don't want to probably get in a shootout with Penn State, or you don't want to put yourself in a difficult position where it's kind of hard for you to come back. So it's going to be interesting to see. I can't wait to watch this game though.
Yeah, no, um, I'm right there with you. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. I think as much as it's important for Penn State to stop the run of Ashton, and that's what everybody's going to be looking at. Boise, if you want a chance, make Drew Allar beat you.
Yeah.
And he's a very talented quarterback. He's the man at Penn State, but make him beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how good Drew Allar is. Life is good. It's real easy when Singleton's back there running that thing, and they got both running backs cooking. Let's see if Allar can beat you. If you put the pressure on him, you never know. It can work out in your favor. Maybe you can force some turnovers. You can get a pick six, and in a game like this, you need um, you need points any way you can get them. So let's see if you can force the Penn State passing attack to be the one that derails you.
Exactly. So yeah, it's gonna be a tall task indeed for Boise State, Chris. Coming up in this game, but yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting game that I want to see. Can the defense from Boise State slow down Drew Allar, and can a guy like Maddox Manson, who I love as well. I think he's had an exceptional year. It's one thing to talk about
Mm-hmm.
what Ashton Gianti has done, but Manson has been a very good leader at the quarterback position, and he hasn't really made many mistakes out there as well in terms of giving up the ball through the air. So hopefully, a guy like Manson and their wide receiver Cameron Camper, who's had well over 800 yards and 4 touchdowns this season. Hopefully, they can also show up in this game as well, along with the rest of their teammates. So it's gonna be an interesting game. Fiesta Bowl. Can't wait to watch this one. This will start out um, the second round.
Yeah,
So yeah, this is
and
it's gonna be interesting.
it is. It is. Wow. I would be remiss if I ruled out the opportunity, the possibility that Boise wins this game. Um, they will have to get points from either special teams or defense. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
force turnovers. That's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Um, and make Drew Eller, have to make plays. That's the blueprint. Will it happen though? I don't think so. I think Penn State wins handedly. Uh, Penn State 34-17. I think it's gonna be like a 17-point win.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was going to mention as well. I mean, this should be a big home game, of course, for Boise State. I know that a lot of the Boise State fans will be in attendance down there in Glendale. So overall, I will say that Penn State does still win the ball game. I will chalk it up. Um, Penn State 42, Boise State 24. And I think that Penn State will run away with it, probably midway through the third quarter into the
Mm-hmm.
fourth. So I think it will be a pretty good game, but I think overall Penn State will show up and finish the game the way that they need to and advance to the next round.
James Franklin's hope. For James Franklin's sake, you better hope so. Because if he loses to Boise, all the good that he's done this season will be erased and forgotten. I think that's an underrated storyline. If you lose with this path that Oregon would love to swap places and have, I bet you Oregon would, in a heartbeat, prefer to play SMU and then turn around and have to play Boise State than dealing with that monster Ohio State here, as we'll talk about. But if you lose this one, it ain't gonna get no sweeter than this ever again, James Franklin. This is the best path you gonna ever have.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is, Chris, originally I had plans that, the last show of 2024, we were going to kind of sit down and talk about some of our likely or unlikely part of one of our episodes. But, and it had James Franklin's job security, and it looked, we don't condone, of course, anyone's job getting axed or anything, but it would be crazy if we got on here and said, you know what, James, that's gonna happen to James Franklin. All good. The next thing you know, he like loses the Boise State, and just like the house is on fire. Just saying,
Look,
how fitting
it ain't
to end
it ain't gonna be
2024.
pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty.
It wouldn't be. It definitely
So
wouldn't be.
yeah, we're gonna be tuned in to see how this plays out. But boy, them folks out there in State College, I'm telling you, they looking for a reason to act up. So
I know. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a good game. We'll see what James Franklin has in store in this game. Will he choke? Because people have mentioned, James Franklin, not winning the big games when he needs to. Could this be another tale of that happening, or will he show up and show that serious side that we kind of seen from him last week or so after that big win against SMU. So hey, this is why we had the playoffs, Chris.
yes, indeed. Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. So yeah, man, should be a great game indeed, and it's a 6:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. So yeah, Chris. Anything else you like to add about the Fiesta Bowl before we move on to our next game?
No, sir, I'm good.
All right, all right. Well, moving along, Chris, we are now about to head down to Atlanta. We have the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, number 4 Arizona State taking on number 5 Texas. Um, right now, Vegas has the Longhorns as a 13-point favorite to win this ball game. Um, I'm not sure if you've kind of heard the little news stories, of course, Chris, about Arizona State talking a little trash right now. Mr. Levitt, Mr. Sam Levitt, talking a little noise, about the Longhorns, and you got Scatterbo kind of getting into it, saying, no one can stop me. I am one of the best backs in the game. And look, I, for one, have said on this show that maybe he was a dark horse Heisman guy. Maybe he probably should have had a, if there was ever a fifth seat in New York. Maybe we need to sit down, Mr. Cam Scatterbo, because this man was a freak of nature all season, Chris. You saw
Mm-hmm.
it, I saw it, the whole world saw it. But overall, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, who do you got in this game? What do you think? What are you looking at to be the tail of the tape in this ball game, Chris? And who do you think comes out on top?
Yeah. So what I'm looking at with this game, um, this is an interesting matchup, Kory.
Mm-hmm.
On the surface, it's real easy to be like, yeah, Texas going to put the beats on Arizona State. Arizona State, a team that only won a couple games not too long ago. Literally a bottom of the barrel program in the Pac-12. Next thing you know, these jokers joined the Big 12, and here they are in the college football playoff. Um, and Coach Dillingham, I'm very curious to see how deep in his bag he gets for this game. I want to see the play calling, the game script. Quiet as kept. Arizona State is one of them teams, Kory, when it comes to dialing it up, they get to it. Kenny Dillingham is a great coach. It's evident. The job he's done with Arizona State, as young as he is and as fast as his team is turned around, um, wow. And you're going up against Steve Sarkisian, a guy who's known for years for dialing it up and calling great plays. Can you put the pressure on Sark and on Texas? Put some points on this defense. And maybe lower the confidence of this Texas defense, because Texas is going to be walking in like what's that school on what's dang, on Friday Night Lights, was it James Carter?
Yeah.
That's how Texas about to walk into this game. With the athletes that they have, and the swagger they have, the kind of defense they play,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be walking in head up high, chest out, feeling good. And can you knock this Texas defense down a notch or two and put some points on the board? I think play calling is the thing to watch in this game, because Arizona State, quiet as kept, can make this a very interesting matchup. And if they are able to put points on the board,
Mm-hmm.
can Quinn, the pressure shifts to Texas. Can Quinn Ewers do what he needs to do as a number one quarterback, a 5-star prospect, and lead this offense in a shootout? And I'm just curious to see how this game plays out, because I'm not sleeping on Arizona State one bit, even though they are the team that they don't have the athletes, but I think, in my opinion, they have the head coach, and this is a game that it can be evident, and it can, if they win, it's because their head coach and his staff came with a game plan that's just magnificent. I think they have a chance to do so.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Of course, I mean, what we've seen from Kenny Dillingham this season has been remarkable. I kind of put Arizona State in the same boat as Coach Prime in Colorado. Taking a team that was, you know, some might say, dead and buried, and really rising them to the occasion. And look at them now. They have an opportunity to beat a team like Texas and move on to the semifinal, if they can get the job done this week. So this is going to be an interesting ball game that I I really can't fully rule out Arizona State in this game just because that O line from Arizona State is nasty in the way that they block for Cam Scatterbo. So, if they allow Cam Scatterbo to run the way that he does, and I've told like my family and friends and stuff, this is a guy that loves contact. If you watch him play this season, he likes contact.
Mm-hmm.
Will that wane on this Texas defense in this game? We'll see. But I won't. I definitely won't take this offensive line and this running back lightly because if they do, they can get up and be in a rude awakening in this ball game.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I don't think Texas will take them lightly at all. This thing's there's a lot of there are a lot of good coaches, and I'm pretty sure Texas staff is one that recognizes the good that other teams are doing, and they will not take Arizona State lightly at all. This isn't just a line them up and play it kind of game. Like they will be keyed in on what Arizona State brings to the table and how they scheme up getting their guys the ball. That's all. That's what Kenny Dillingham is all about: getting his best players, his best athletes, the ball in space and make plays. And so we'll see how they go about doing that in this game. And I just think Texas they'll be locked in, and they will need to be. This is a sneaky game. Somebody, whether it's Penn State and Boise State or Texas and Arizona State, one of those games that when you look at it on the surface, like easy blowouts for the big power teams, the blue bloods.
Mm-hmm.
One of those games will find a way to be much closer than what people anticipate. I think this is the game that has that appeal to it.
Yeah, it definitely has that cachet that you're saying, Chris. That I won't put Arizona State lightly. If I'm Texas, I think that they're here for a reason. They slapped around Iowa State about as good as I've seen anyone do it all season. Um, I think that this team has a definite shot at spooking Texas. If Texas allows themselves to get into a game with the Sun Devils. So I think if you're Texas, if you're Sark, you really want to be all hands on deck and draw up a good game plan and stopping Cam Scatterbo. If you can't stop him, try to slow him down. And Sam Levitt, which is a guy that in the beginning of the season, he wasn't as sharp of a passer that he was later in the season, but now he's kind of really coming to his own, and now he's really taking control of that offense along with Scatterbo. So it's going to be an interesting ball game. I can't wait to see what happens. Um, what's the score do you have for this game?
I've been wrestling with this. I'm going 38-31 Texas. Think it's a game.
Okay.
Texas by 7.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Texas 35, Arizona State 31.
We both see it as a close competitive game. This is and Texas is they're kind of good for letting a team like this play a game that's going to be closer than you anticipate. That's kind of Texas's mo.
Mm-hmm.
So I do see a world where this is a really close game. So I think Texas ekes it out by 7.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is a game. This is a big opportunity for both teams. If Texas can get a win like this in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, this will be huge, especially against a team like Arizona State. You beat a team like Arizona State, they're poised for a big opportunity their way. So, but if you're Arizona State and you can knock out Texas, hey, a
Hey,
big win for the Sun Devils. A
boy, if
huge
they
win.
beat Texas, the same things we said about James Franklin, they apply to Coach Sark.
You ain't lying. You is not lying.
Oh, they gonna be ready. It's a Ryan Day situation. It's championship or bust.
Oh, I'm locking the doors here. I like, look, I don't. I might still hear from my house just the literal booze and pitchforks being pulled out here in Austin if that
It's
happens.
crazy to say, Kory, for a coach who's coached his team to the second round of the playoff, but that's not what this program is here for. They are here to play and win national championships. And if
Yeah.
you let lowly old Arizona State keep you from making the 4-man playoff, the original playoff, oh, it's on. The, Austin's going to be upside down.
Oh, they will. They definitely will be, Chris. And yeah, don't look. Don't even think about it, Chris. Don't even think about trying to come to this city in the heat of all of this. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it, folks. You can go to Dallas. You can get good food there. You go to Houston. Great food there. Nice things to do. Kind of skip around Austin. Go to San Antonio. Do anything. Watch the Spurs game. Just don't come here because people will. It will be pandemonium in this city.
I would have showed up just to watch it all burn down, respectfully. Not that I'm
Oh
not
man.
that I'm rooting for it to happen, but in the case if it were to happen, that's going to be some great cinema.
It,
Give me some popcorn. I want to sit back and watch this.
it would be. It definitely would be. I think you're absolutely right. But yeah, yeah, man. I think that would be the worst case scenario for this Texas team because I've talked about it plenty of times, Chris. They built this team flat out through NIL and with the opportunity to make it to a national championship and win a national championship. This is a school that has set aside NIL money, Chris, just for offensive linemen. That's insane.
Yeah, man. You can't lose this one. It's a
Yeah,
must win. This is
absolutely.
this is this is an actual must win for both Texas and Penn State. These are must win games, and consequences will be had if they don't win.
Yeah, you all right, my friend. But yeah, man. I think if you're smart, you know that going in, you can't lose a big game like this. That's why I think both of us are, chalking this up as a win for the Longhorns. I think they know um, the ramifications if they can't get this job done. And the noise right now that Arizona State's kind of putting out there and trying to get the guys a little riled up. Look, I love it. I love it. Let's do this. It makes much more of a battle of a funner game for us to watch on New Year's Day, Chris. So I'm not complaining.
I'm not complaining either.
So yeah, man. But it should be a fun one. Can't wait to watch it. This New Year's Day, 12 p.m. kickoff. It'll be the first game to start our New Year's Day. So,
Yes, sir.
so yeah, can't wait to watch it. But anything else, Chris, you want to add to this game before we move on to our next game?
No, sir.
All right, all right. Well, now, Chris, I'm looking at this game as being um, I wish this game was actually the nightcap game of the evening. I wish this game would end our New Year's Day with a bang. It's the game between number one Oregon and number eight Ohio State, the Rose Bowl, and it couldn't get any more fitting than this one, Chris. Ohio
Yeah,
State.
this is.
Oh, you can go. You can go.
I was gonna say this is it speaks to the old school college football fans' heart. The
It
the
does.
the Big Ten powerhouse against the team that normally was in the Pac-12
I love
in the
it.
Rose Bowl. This is the matchup when you think of Rose Bowl, Big Ten, Pac-12. But
Yeah.
it just happens to be now because nowadays college football, two Big Ten teams squaring off in the
Exactly.
Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, this is this is going to be a crazy game indeed, Chris. Two Big Ten heavyweights battling it out after the game they had this season, um, this year. So, yeah, I'm very excited about this game. Right now, Vegas doesn't know what's about to happen. They got Ohio State as a 2.5 point favorite to win the ball game. So, they you might as well call this as a toss up style matchup, Chris. Yeah, just both of these teams have everything to lose. Oregon has everything to lose in this game if they can't cap off a perfect season and win a national championship. If they can't beat Ohio State, they beat them in the regular season. If they can't get the job done, that would be tough. But for Ohio State, you can say the same thing about them. They lost to Oregon regular season, Chris. Lost to Michigan to cap off the
Mm-hmm.
regular season, and now they're pissed off, they're mad, they're trying to make a name for themselves in this playoffs. We said it on the last episode that we thought that Ohio State was the best looking playoff team so far in these playoffs. Can that continue? We'll see. But
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about this game going forward?
Right. It's just kept Kory. I think this is the natty.
This is it.
I think this is the natty for me. Oregon has been the most consistent and the best team throughout the season. Throughout a 12 game regular season, they played the best football. Uh, and last week, well, I say last week, but in Ohio State's last game, they looked to peak. They looked to be peaking. That was the best they've played all season in my eyes, including that beautiful game that they had, that great game that they lost against Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And if Ohio State is peaking at this point, this is going to be special. This has game of the year potential. Like, I mean that when I say I think this is the national championship. The winner of this game is going to win it all, and it's going to be a scrap, a battle. I think the difference is, I think Ohio State's coaching staff has realized we got to depend on our guys. And when I say our guys, first and foremost, it's a freshman, Jeremiah Smith. Emeka Egbuka, he's going to the pros. He's going to the NFL next year. He's not the number one receiver on that team. He's not the best receiver on that team. Jeremiah Smith is a man.
A
He
monster.
is he is the man. And Chip Kelly finally got his head out of his ass, and they realized we got to get this young man the ball and
Yeah.
get it to him often. And if that's the approach Ohio State takes in this game, spreading the ball out, passing it, go down swinging with Will Howard, I think there's a good chance they walk away with the win. Um, I know Dylan Gabriel has had a great season, but there were some questions about can Dylan Gabriel go out here and beat you? You know, he's had a great year, but Dylan Gabriel has had his share of moments where he's fallen short in crunch time.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put that pressure on Gabriel? Can you put that pressure on Oregon, Dan Lanning and his team? Because they normally are in control. So it's going to be a fun game. I think Oregon has a great team as well, a great offensive line, first and foremost. They pride themselves in the trenches. And if they play ball control and play at their pace, there's a great chance that they get the win. But they're going to have to stop the explosives. I think Ohio State's going to try to go for the explosives in this game. If they get those big 20, 30, 35, 40-yard catches down the field, it's going to be tough, man. Ohio State, sky's the limit for this team, as talented as they are, and I think they're coming around.
Yeah, I think just like what you said, Chris, I think that this Ohio State team is peaking. Like we said it on the last episode that they came out of the first round looking like the best overall pound for pound playoff team out there right now, and that's without the first seeds
Mm-hmm.
not playing a game. So, yeah, I think if Ryan Day and company can draw up a good game plan and really stop Oregon from scoring, and make sure that they make as many mistakes as possible for you to capitalize off of, I think that they can definitely have an exceptional day. I think after looking at Ohio State, they've definitely unlocked Pandora's box finally with Jeremiah Smith out there. He is a man amongst boys out there. Like he's really showcasing why he is a top tier level wide receiver at his position, Chris. So, if they can definitely you know, implement him into the game more than they did against Tennessee, I think they're going to have a heck of a day. You know, you go out there, you allow Quinshawn Judkins to run the ball as well as Travion Henderson. Do that as well. Implement Emeka Ibuka, who is a great player in his own right, also in this offense, and take care of what you need to take care of on defense. Showcase to us what you did to Tennessee, to Oregon in this game. Look, a great day. So I'm I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna say Ohio State has an opportunity to win this ball game.
Um, you know, is as much as we talked about the pressure in the moment and everything surrounding Ohio State football this season with Ryan Day,
Mm-hmm.
I feel myself making the pick to side with Ryan Day. I think they continue to play their best ball. Ryan Day is a good coach,
Yeah.
regardless of if they win or lose this game. Um, Ohio State fans, though, will want him ran out of town probably if they lose this game, despite it being against Oregon, who probably, if they do beat Ohio State, has a great chance of winning the championship.
Yeah.
Um, but he understands what's going on in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think he and his staff will come in keyed in, have a great game plan, and I'm going with Ohio State. Um, it's, it sounds crazy, but from the beginning of the season, Kory, we always looked at this team and was like, man, this team is just loaded. And if they play like the team that they can be. And if that's what they did against Tennessee, if they do that and some more in this game, we're looking at the best team in the nation when all cylinders are firing. And I think we're going to get that team. If they didn't play as well as they did against Tennessee, I would tell you Oregon. But because we finally got a glimpse of what that Ohio State team we thought we were going to see this season, we finally saw that team against Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ohio State will get the win. Maybe Tennessee's a pretender, and they got Ohio State looking boosted. But I'm sipping the
Possible.
Kool-Aid. I'm gonna go with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. I gotta sip the Kool Aid too. I feel like what they did with Jeremiah Smith and allowing him to be implemented in the offense more should bode well. Should only bode well for Ohio State if they're trying to make a huge run in this year's playoffs. And when you think about it, when they played Oregon, that was during the time where he was not implemented as much in the office as he should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
granted, they lost that game by what, like 1 point?
One point,
1 point?
in a phantom PI call, offensive
Yeah,
pass interference. That a lot of Ohio State fans would tell you wasn't an offensive pass interference. Um,
exactly,
so yeah, it
exactly.
was a real close game. To the wire.
Yeah, to the wire. So, when you are Ohio State and you've had the season that you've had, and you've been humbled, and you've come out of this whole humbling sequence with anger, especially after the way you treated Tennessee. That was nasty. I think if you can have this team and motivate this team in that same way, in that same vein, I think you have a recipe for success. You want to get your lick back against Oregon. They got you in the regular season. This is a big
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, a huge opportunity to return the favor. And what better way to do it in the Rose Bowl? So
Yeah.
they're going to be under the lights. This is going to be a big game, but only one winner will be prevailed in this game. And I think Ohio State has an opportunity to, fulfill
Um,
that.
but yeah, I'm going to go. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a lot of points put up, Kory. I'm going to go 41-38, Ohio
Okay.
State.
All right. Nice. 41-38. Okay.
I
I'm
think the offense
going.
is going to play.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to go 49-42, Ohio State. I think this game, I think you are coming along with something, Chris. I think this game is going to be a shootout of epic proportions. This is going to be probably one of the best Rose Bowl games we've seen in quite a while, and with good reason. There's a big storyline that needs to be fleshed out with this game on the horizon. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna take Ohio State to win this ball game. I think they've finally figured out their mo.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Oh boy,
I can't wait,
feels
man.
nasty. It feels nasty making this pick, but I'm this is what we're going with, and
Yeah,
we're in it now. So
exactly. Exactly, man. I look this. This is why we play the games. This is why we watch the games, of course. And we saw this game earlier in the season. It was a heck of a game then. I don't think this game will be too far fetched from what we saw in the regular season. I just think both teams have definitely figured out some things from each other that they want to kind of one up each other on, and I think it's definitely gonna make out for some great television.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But yeah, Chris, should be a fun game. The Rose Bowl, 4 p.m. is the kickoff. So yeah, folks, be sure to tune in to that game as well. So, any other things you like to add, Chris, before we move on to our final bowl game of the week?
No, sir.
All right. So yeah, so not necessarily our final bowl game of the week, and we'll definitely have some more, but this will be our final um CFP bowl for this week that we'll discuss before we disperse on today's show, folks. Number 2, Georgia taking on number 7 Notre Dame in the All-State Sugar Bowl, Chris. Georgia right now is a 1-point favorite to win this ball game. So, you've already had um, the whole thing about Carson Beck, entering into the NFL draft, healing up, of course, with his injury. Now we're going to go forth with a new quarterback now. So Gunnar Stockton's going to be back there for the Bulldogs, throwing the rock. Chris, who do you have in this ball game between Georgia and Notre Dame? This is going to be an interesting game, I know for sure. I want to see what happens, how Notre Dame can, potentially slow down Stockton and the offense. I think Georgia has kind of figured out some things despite the Beck injury, in terms of being maybe not as sharp as what we've seen past Georgia teams can be, but
Mm-hmm.
they've been utilizing the ground game about as much as they can to speed up that clock and try to knock you out. It kind of reminds you of those older Alabama teams out there. You got Derrick
Mm-hmm.
Henry and Mark Ingram and all of those guys. It's just Eddie Lacy. Let's just knock you out. Let's just run the ball and we'll throw it a couple times. And we'll get out of here. So it kind of reminds me of that. But what are your thoughts about this game for this week, Chris?
This is quite the matchup as well. A lot of unknowns when it comes to what are we going to get out of Georgia's offense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is there some? I don't know how much you listen to the Bill Simmons podcast. Is there some Ewing theory at play here, where Georgia loses their top quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the team rallies to play better than what they were playing with Carson Beck? I think that's a possibility. Um, I think
Definitely
Notre
possible.
Dame is possible. I think there's a world where Notre Dame unexpectedly puts the beats on Georgia. This it's not impossible that Notre Dame just straight up shellacks Georgia. We thought this Georgia offense was inept at times, and then you throw in a backup quarterback, and it could possibly look even worse. That's a possibility too. Um, so we'll see. I think the things we want to look at in this game is the quarterbacks. Just how good does Riley Leonard play against this Georgia defense? And can Gunner make the plays, make the reads? Will he have to make plays? Will Georgia just dominate running the football? A lot of questions that have to be answered. And I can't wait to see how this plays out. As a college football fan and someone that loves Georgia football, I'm pulling my hair out. But as a fan of the game, this is quite the matchup.
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, we saw Notre Dame, slap around Indiana about a week or so ago. So I do think Marcus Freeman definitely wants to show up and show up big against the Georgia Bulldogs. And I think he has a really good team that can be capable of potentially knocking out Georgia. Look, this isn't the strongest Georgia team we've seen this year, by far. We've seen much better Georgia teams
Mm-hmm.
in years past. So this is a big opportunity for Notre Dame if they want to move on to the next round, Chris. Hey, it's kind of reminiscent of like what you said earlier about Penn State, about James Franklin. Just like James Franklin, big opportunity for him, has to get over the hump in big games.
Mm-hmm.
I look at that the same way with Marcus Freeman. You know, this is a good
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame
Mm-hmm.
team. Got to get over the hump. This might be the
And you
only
got
time you
to.
can beat a team like Georgia. This Georgia team.
I'm about to say you got to take advantage of the down years for powerhouse programs.
Yeah.
So if you're going to beat Georgia, this is the year to beat Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And you went in the portal. You went and got a Riley Leonard 4 games like this to depend on him to win you a game like this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we need to see it come to life. You got to make it happen. This is what it's all about. So
Absolutely.
it's now or never for Notre Dame. Respectfully, I know that you're going to get more chances and you'll probably make the playoffs again, but it ain't gonna get no easier.
No.
And this ain't easy, but like get Georgia now, beat them now,
Yeah. Get him out of there.
because as the years continue, boy, hey, Kirby's he's gonna make sure things are together, and I think some of the problems that they've had this season will be rectified next
Mm-hmm.
year. So get Georgia now while they're down.
Yeah.
And this is the team that's in the college football playoff. And we're saying while they're down, but like that's the case.
Yeah. They are like they've pretty much gotten to the point they've gotten to with a look and a prayer. So you know it's how fitting would it be for a Notre Dame team that has gotten a guy like Riley Leonard and all of the other players that they have on their team as well. I mean, Jeremiah Love is one of the best running backs this season. He's a good player in his own right. For those guys that's on Marcus Freeman's um, team this year, how fitting would it be if they can take down this Georgia team that has pretty much not been as strong as what we've seen in years past? That would be big for them, and it will be a way
Mm-hmm.
for Marcus Freeman to get over the hump. So yeah, I'm with you, Chris. Um, if there was ever a time, knock out Georgia while you can, while they're at their lowest point right now, because you might not be able to get these chances again with a Kirby Smart that's aggressive recruiter in the way that he is. He's definitely going to try to rectify some of these things for next season. But for now, they're here, but they're not as strong. Can you do it? That's what I want to see.
Same, same.
So yeah, man. What score do you have in mind?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be little of an ugly kind of game. I'm thinking 23-17 Georgia. I
Okay.
think it's on the lower scoring end.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of got this feeling that this could be a lower scoring game as well, just because a team like Georgia is definitely going to want to make this game probably a lower scoring game if they have to. So yeah, I'm going to say 24-17 Notre Dame wins this ball
Mm.
game.
So you got Notre Dame getting the win.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I,
Don't let me
I was
down,
gonna
Notre
say,
Dame.
I think Georgia kind of rallies around Gunner. The defense is going to play out of sight, out of mind, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see. We're going to learn a lot of things about Gunner, and we're going to learn if our boy Riley, You know, is he ready for the moment? This ain't Duke anymore. It's the college football playoff.
No, no, this is not Duke anymore. You're wearing that Fighting Irish uniform now. You've taken your team this far in the season. You're in the playoffs now. You got opportunity to win a big game, and to do something big that not many teams this year have been able to do, and that's knock out Georgia. So if you can do that, you can be on that pedestal with Ole Miss and Alabama, Chris. Just looking on, just saying like, hey, we did it, we knocked out Georgia, guys. You can sit with us, Notre Dame. Good job.
This is your chance.
This is your chance.
This is your chance. So no, it's gonna be fun though, man. It's gonna be a great day of football.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait, man. Should be a fun one indeed. So yeah, man. Well, we're all set for a great week of college football, Chris. Before I let you go, we'll go ahead and do some outros. Let the good people know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, you can find your boy on X, Chris_Bolton_12. Holla at your boy. We talking everything. So college football, NFL football, basketball, baseball will be here before you know it. Shohei Otani's having a child, so you know he's about to go for 70 home runs this next season. So yes, you can find me on there on X and also on Instagram, Chris.Bolton_. Holla at your boy.
Awesome. So yeah, man, it should be great. I also saw clips of Shohei Otani's wife, which is a really good basketball player. Like she out there hooping, man. Would be great. She
Hey,
just like lands on like a WNBA team.
find some way on the Sparks.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. They'll never lose again.
Man, that look. All I know is when they have their child, he or she will be a supreme athlete.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Look, the Nike deals, the Adidas, whatever, they already lining up. They like, look, man, girl or
Oh,
boy, we are ready to invest in this
you
star
better be,
athlete.
because Otani ain't here to play around. So
No,
I already know if he boy or girl, they will be having a bat in their hands and will be ready to go to make it happen.
absolutely. So shout out to Shuhei and his lovely wife on expecting a child. So yeah, it should be a great moment for them indeed. So yeah, that's awesome to hear. But yeah, partner. Yeah, folks. You can also find me on X at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there talking college football, professional wrestling, whole nine. So yeah, definitely follow me on there. But yeah, partner. Great episode with you as always. Always good to hear from you, and always good for us to talk to the good people out there, our listeners that follow us
Yes, sir.
since day one. So yeah, man, it's great playoffs indeed right now, and we're just getting started. Second round coming.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be memorable one way or another. Whether what we think happens, it definitely be memorable if what we don't think is going to happen will happen in some of these games.
Exactly. So it's just it's the law of the land. When dealing with college football, of course, and just this new format. I love it. I love it. That's why we watch the
Hmm.
games. Like I say.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But yeah, folks, we appreciate you guys listening to the show. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It's definitely important for us. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you all. But until next time, guys, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. I hope everyone out there has a lovely New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And be sure to be safe, guys. Take care.
Peace.
Peace.